YouTube Force Arena Commanders, welcome to a brand new video. In this video we're going to look at 2v2 PvP as rebels. Why do you keep losing is the question. We're going to look at some examples. Here is a win. This is how you win at 2v2, and I'll show you some examples of how you lose at 2v2 as well. Now, outside of the Imperial troopers being a higher level than you, there's nothing you can do about that apart from take it on the chin and suck that up. That's down to the matchmaking, which is annoying, as we all know it isn't working as intended. But when you are playing 2v2, it's always difficult to communicate, because all you've got is that ping, the little dial circle. So what I tend to do is wait to see what my partner does first. Are they aggressive? Are they passive? Are they going to make an attack? Now, we're both attack-minded characters. So if you are a more of a support character, that should be your role in 2v2, and then your partner should attack. If your partner doesn't attack, then you're screwed. It's that simple. So Ezra's going to make some attack here. I'm always mindful though, in case I deploy a walker, and that's exactly what he's done here. I knew something wasn't right, so I dropped down my turret to take the ATS's mind away from the objective turret. But that turret does go down, as does the ATS. Now I have an opportunity now to push. As you can see, their turret's locked onto my light tank. There's no one here, and I'm just going to beat the crap out of this turret with the Wookiee warrior light tank pushing. Ezra's fine defending against Thrawn, and I will take down that turret, which was perfect. So I'm going to try and drop down an X-Wing support drop there just to help. Wipes out all those troopers there in one foul swoop as I die, as does Admiral Thrawn. So that was a fine example of how you counterattack. You don't just drop troopers endlessly and aimlessly around the map. You make it count. So that was an opportunity there. That had no one defending, he had no troopers there. I had a light tank or a tank like a Wookiee warrior in front, or if you've got a bantha, and then you just go for it. You just focus that turret and give it everything you've got. Again, big push this right side. Again, we'll defend it, trying to do a drop there as quickly as possible. Ezra is now pushing the right side. Always mindful, keep my eye on the map. Is there a rocket trooper there? Is there an ATST walker there? Keeping your eyes open to what's going on. This is what makes you a better player. This is why you have a map. For those who don't know, the red dots are enemy. Green dots is your player, and blue dots is your partner's players on the map. So as you can see, Ezra is doing pretty well holding the own ground there. So he's got a push going right side, but I wanted to drop some troopers to the left because I want to take down his middle turret and really go for the shield generator. But unfortunately, Ezra drops troopers just behind himself. So I've really got nothing to make a push. I've got a light tank coming up now, so I'll make a big charge for it. Just do as much damage as I can. Take all the focus away from the push from the right side. Just beat the hell out of it. My light tank is doing damage. I'm doing damage. In goes my Wookiee warrior. But as you can see, just not enough. If only I had an X-Wing drop, which is what I've got now, but I will use that to defend the turret with just 24 seconds to go. Try and hold them for as long as I possibly can in this bottom left hand corner. A lot of troopers coming in, so I just want to work with this AT-ST walker. Drop down some more troopers to help defend my turret there. And it looks like we're going to go for a 1-0 win, but I'll make one final push in the middle if I can, but I won't because another AT-ST walker coming. This is going to be close now. Unfortunately, my turret drop was too late, but it was enough to hang on for a 1-0 win. Pause the video to have a look at our decks that we were using, myself, Ezra, and also the Imperial players too. But that was a good win against some pretty well leveled up players. Talking of levels, it's critical that you make sure that the cards that you use, your decks, match the level that you are at. So if you're level 10 like I am, you ideally want to use cards that closely match your level. If you're using level 1s and 2s, apart from obviously your epics or your uniques, they're going to have zero impact on the game and they'll just get killed. It's like cannon fodder. So you drop them down, they get killed. You drop them down, they get killed. That's how it'll be, and that's how you keep losing. I do understand that credits are hard to come by in the game. This is why early days you level up all the cards you can because they're relatively cheap. But when it gets to about 600 to even 1,000 credits, that's when you need to target the cards that you want to use more and level those up only and save you money. If you've got cards at a high level, put those in your deck. use them until you've leveled up the cards that you want to use, and just adjust your play style accordingly. And so many players don't do this. What works today may not work tomorrow, so you have to adapt as you play the game. Now again, I'm waiting to see what my partner does here, Princess Leia. She's dropped down a light tank on the bottom right, so I'll throw down some troopers to support. Again, keeping my eye on the left side, ready for an ATST walker, because he's at the top left hand corner, so he's going to do some trickery, and any second now he'll drop something, and there it is. There is an ATST walker. So I throw down my turret, and what that does is then the ATST walker will lock onto it, and I'll focus the ATST walker with a light tank and some las warriors. Level 5 is going to be tough, and it just literally destroys my turret at level 5 does. All I can do now is beat the hell out of it and prevent as much damage as I possibly can. So again, I do have an opportunity to push, but it won't be a good push because obviously the agent's still there as Princess Leia dies. But I'll make a run for the turret, see what I can do. But now it's level 11, which means that it's going to be even harder for us to do damage here because they've got more hit points and it deals more damage. But not a bad effort, took it down to just over a quarter damage. But Princess Leia now is struggling in the bottom right. But I'm going to try again and just get rid of this rocket trooper and make a push again on this left side. Princess Leia should be able to do some defending there, but I do get stunned, which is really bad timing for me. Dealing more damage as I can, taking the turret down to just an inch left. But one thing you notice in this game, there's been no support, there's been no help from Princess Leia as I make that push, and not even paying attention to the map as we lose a second turret. And this is why we lost this game. All Leia's done is die really, and by now I'm beyond caring because the game's lost at 2-0. This is why you lose games. You have a map, you need to use that map. If your partner's got a good push going, throw some troops down. It's not you and you versus them, you're a team, you have to work together as a team. And I'll make one desperate attempt to get this turret, which I do, but as you can see I'll just die anyway. But the game's over as we lose the middle turret and go for a defeat. That is how you do not play 2v2 in this game. Really, really annoying to lose like this. Again, pause the video, have a look at the cards. As you can see, they were pretty high level as Imperials. Level 5 ATST Walker is going to be an absolute beast to try and put off. And again, let me just remind you again about leveling up your cards. Feel free to practice. If you haven't got the levels of the cards that you'd like to use, switch them around a bit, try something different. Use a training game to try some different strategies. Yes, the bot isn't particularly smart, but it gives you an idea to see what counters what works well when you attack. These are the kind of things you want to nail down. Also look at your cards, what do they counter? Check out the decks to see what they counter against, what are they good against, so make sure you deploy the right units at the right time to counter whatever your enemy does. So let's move on to a different game, completely different game. This is with Han and Ezra. This is another example of how you kind of PvP. And Ezra's been very aggressive, so I want to support some troopers there. And again, it's always good to see if your partner is aggressive because you know they can do all the work, and your job then really should be to defend and mop up any enemy units. But I'll deploy a tank just to keep the leader there busy because something doesn't feel right. Again, always mindful of the ATST walker, so my turret will be the last thing I drop down in case I deploy an ATST. Always keeping an eye on what Ezra's up to. Is there help needed? But level 3 ATST walker isn't particularly strong. I throw down my turret. Ezra drops a gunk droid. Don't know why it went that way, but that's the way it goes. But Ezra's making a push. I've got nothing to support Ezra with, but I have got an ATST walker and a rocket trooper here, so I'm under some serious trouble. I drop down my grenadier just to take care of the rocket trooper and stormtroopers. I'll do all the work now on that ATST walker at level 3. But it will take my turret down to just about half health, which is quite a lot. Ezra's got a great push going at the top right hand corner, but unfortunately dies as I do, just shy of the health pack. So that's what we call a double kill. So if you're like looking at the map now, Ezra's chipped away at that top right hand corner, so it makes sense now to support another push. I throw down my light tank, again covering as best as I can this side of the map. I'll now drop down a proximity mine. That's the kind of spot you want to put it down, because a rocket trooper will walk on that and it will kill him. That's how you protect. So again now, gunk droid top left, troopers just in front of a turret so they don't lock onto a turret, and the focus will be all on the rebel soldiers, and the turret and the soldiers can deal damage. But we've got a hard push coming down this right hand side. AT-ST Walker in there, the leader's in there, but as you can see, everything has been taken care of relatively quickly. And the AT-ST Walker did walk over my proximity mine. I've got nothing right now to throw down. I really wanted my rocket warrior, but unfortunately I dropped a gunk droid by mistake, and our tower does go down, as does the AT-ST Walker. But Ezra has got a good push going again on the right side. So I ping the map. Let's focus the middle turret. Let's go for it. Let's go for the win. They drop a drop pod on there. I'll drop a light tank to support. Again, always covering. In comes another AT-ST Walker. Although we've got a turret there, it won't last very long. I throw down a grenade to take care of the rocket trooper. Another turret, but unfortunately, by the time I drop my turret down, the AT-ST Walker had already locked onto our turret. So it's going to be a big push now from Ezra. But unfortunately, as you can see, the AT-ST Walker took down that turret to make it 2-2 with just 5 seconds to go. Ezra's got a big push going down the middle, so I'm going to throw everything down I've got. Under all the confusion, I throw down the gunk droid left hand side just to throw confusion. See if I can focus it, see if the gunk droid can do enough damage on it. Takes it down to just a fraction. Focusing now on the shield generator. Unfortunately, the light tank has done it, but just enough damage was done to win the game 3-2. GG. And again, another example of how working together as a team will win the day. 31 points, good result. Again, pause the video to check out the decks we're all using. Wasn't particularly bad. All the cards for all the players relatively strong in that particular game. Not bad. So as this 2v2 video runs, it's another defeat, and again you can see where it all goes wrong, or have a look for yourself, where does it go wrong, and post below in the comments. It's not particularly a good game to watch, but let's recap with some key things to take away. 1. Level up your cars. Always level up your cars. If you haven't got a strong card, you're not going to win games. Sacrifice if you have to your favourite card for a card that's a lot stronger. 2. Mix it up. Don't be afraid to mix your decks up. What worked today may not work tomorrow. Make sure you've got a counter in your deck to everything the Empire can throw at you. Maybe even a backup like I have with my turret and Embalaz Warrior to help deal with the AT-ST Walkers in this particular game I've been playing today. 3. Awareness. This is a big one. You have a map. Use it. Keep your eye on the battlefield. Does your partner need support? Can you support them in a push? Where is the weakest turret we can focus your attention on? Have the enemy dropped a rocket trooper or a gunk droid, for example, or anything that can deal damage to your turret? This really is a big deal. So many players are just not aware of what's going on around them, and this game here is a fine example of that. If you can make yourself better aware, you will become a better player. No doubts about it at all. Finally, 4. Opportunity. As you saw me earlier on with Luke in the video, find the right opportunity to make a big push, a committed push to take down a turret. It's not a race to finish the game. You've got 3 minutes to win, so you have to balance out when to attack, when to defend. Build up your energy. Don't leave yourself short of energy when you're playing the game. Hopefully, using all these steps, you will become a better player. You can't do much about balance, you can't do much about level differences, but there are steps that you can take to improve your gameplay, and hopefully these 4 simple steps will help you become a Rebel player. All this game footage has been shot post-patch. I've used no special cards, no uniques. I've used all the cards that you should get at the start as a free-to-play player, as I am free-to-play. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, post below. I'll do my best to answer them as we go along. If not, there's some great people around who may answer questions for you too. May the force be with you, and I will see you in the next video.